Hey, this is Chris, and in this video I'm going to talk about eggs. In the 1960s and 1970s there was a professional bodybuilder called Vince Gironda, and what he said is that by eating 36 eggs a day, okay, so 3 dozen eggs a day for 8 weeks was like a mild steroid cycle of the steroid dianabol. Is that true? Okay, well, we're going into that, okay? So some of the reasons why it might be okay is people talk about the protein. Now, when you talk about the protein, there's a protein, it's very protein, they're saying that, oh, it's one of the most anabolic foods in the world, eggs, okay? And I talked about that before. And it is, it's one of the most nutritious, nutrient-dense foods in the world, eggs. But the one thing is that I would say is that, like, there's anti-nutrients in egg whites, so you have to cook the egg whites. Avidin is one of them. Then there's another one called ovostatin and ovomucoid, which is trypsin inhibitor, and then ovostatin, which is a proteinase inhibitor, such as like pepsin. And they're anti-nutrients found in the egg white, so you have to cook the egg white. It's not very heat stable though, so once you cook it well, then you get rid of these anti-nutrients. Another problem with egg whites, okay, before we talk about all the benefits of eggs, is there's a thing called Lysozyme, and that can cause issues like you might get a runny nose, sniffly, and a lot of other problems. Okay, I'll put it up on the screen. The problem with the egg yolk is the calcium to magnesium. So if you're eating a lot of, you have to keep an eye on that, okay? Because there's a lot of calcium in the egg yolk, not a lot of the magnesium. So you want to keep a balance of the magnesium to calcium. But going back to the point that Vince Gironda was making, there's IGF-1, okay? Insulin growth like factor 1. So for a baby to grow big, whatever animal you're getting it, whether you're getting it from duck eggs, chicken eggs, whatever, for that egg to grow, it needs to be fed nutrient dense. Okay, it needs every vitamin and mineral, of course, okay? And it's got IGF-1 as well though, that's the problem. Insulin growth like factor 1. So that can help though if you're bodybuilding, right? Eggs, okay, they're very nutrient dense and all, so you're getting all the nutrients. Also, it's very high in testosterone, cholesterol. People say that's a problem, which we're going to go into later on. But people say that's a problem. But the cholesterol is a precursor to testosterone. So when you've got a diet, so if you're eating the egg yolk, don't think that's bad. The cholesterol is a precursor to testosterone, so that's good for muscle building, etc. And then, as I said, the protein, and then, as I said as well, the nutrient dense food and the IGF-1. And if you eat eggs from like that are fed their natural diet, that are pasture raised, and that are not fed corn and soy. If they're fed corn and soy and all, then they're going to be higher. They're going to be higher in nutrition, like vitamin A in omega-3s and all, if they're fed their natural diets. Okay. I'm going to put some stuff on the screen to confirm that. Okay. But if they're fed corn and soy, they're going to be lacking. They're going to be lower in vitamin A, and they're going to be lower in the omega-3, omega-6. And now, here's another way of knowing that it's fed its natural diet is by looking at the egg yolk. But you have to be careful, because like the more orangey the yolk, the better of a diet it tends to eat. But you have to be careful though, because some people, it's actually put turmeric in it, which gives it that orangey colour. So if it's fed turmeric, so you have to be kind of mindful of that. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's fed its natural diet. Even though typically, if it wasn't given anything, then it would be. But typically, if it's more orangey, that would mean that it's fed like pasture, it's allowed to roam outdoors. There's different types, like pasture raised, free range. You want one of those. You don't want to be sitting in a cage. You want to be cage fed. Okay, you want to roam outdoors and fed its natural diet, not corn and soy fed. And as I said, it's high in choline, which is good for brain development, brain health, okay? Egg yolks. So the egg yolk is most nutrition. The egg white hasn't really got much nutrition. It's got the protein though, which is important. Okay, so people say, oh, what about the cholesterol though? And as I said, that's a precursor to vitamin, to testosterone. It's a precursor to vitamin D. And it's found in every cell of your body, okay? For brain and all, you need some fat, and the saturated fat as well. You need the fat retinol, okay? Eggs are high in retinol as well, which comes from the word retina for your eye. So people say, oh, carrots and sweet potatoes are high in vitamin A, but that's not the preformed version, and you can't convert it well. Some people can't even convert it well at all because they haven't got the gene to convert the vitamin A. So they're eating loads of carrots, eating loads of sweet potatoes, thinking they're getting vitamin A when they're not. Get it from liver, get it from egg yolks, butter, stuff like that, because that's the retinol for your eye. That's why I wouldn't say, oh, good eyesight from eating carrots. But you don't get good eyesight from eating carrots, because it's not the pre-formed version. It's a beta carotene which doesn't convert well. There's plenty of different ways you can prepare them. You can eat them raw, and if you eat the egg yolk raw especially, that can be very beneficial for the nutrient quality, so you don't destroy because the water soluble vitamins specifically are heat sensitive. But you want the egg white cooked. So the egg yolk raw, if you want the egg white cooked though. Like I was saying before, that there was fraudulent studies. Look into my previous video, I've talked a bit about Ansel Keys, where he left out countries, and he was still studying at the time, and he's a fish biologist, not a human biologist, okay? And look into the whole sugar thing, that sugar was exonerated from being bad, even though that's really the thing that was the problem in the first place. So people blaming saturated fat and cholesterol on things when there's really sugar. If you want any more of this content, then make sure to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you soon.